Last year around this time, Mattel revealed their 2022 Summer and Fall Masters of the Universe lineup, and I decided to rank them all based on my excitement for each figure. Well, now all those figures have come out, it's 2023, and Mattel has done it again. They have released, or they've revealed rather, all of their figures and sets for Summer and Fall 2023. So, just like last year, let's go ahead and rank all of the Masters of the Universe reveals. On today's deceptibot9 reviews, we've got 31 figures and sets to rank, so let's get into it. How's it going, everyone? deceptibot9 here, and thank you as always for joining me here on the channel. Before we get into the rankings real fast, I would like to ask, if you like what you see, go ahead, leave me a like. If you like what you see and you want to stay tuned for all of the future content I've got planned, go ahead, subscribe as well. It does really truly mean a lot to me. Plus, if you want to find me anywhere else on the internet, you can find me on Twitter at deceptibot9, on TikTok at deceptibot9, and on Instagram at deceptibot9reviews. Okay. So, like I said up top, we've got a total of 31 figures and sets to rank. Rather than doing them all in a list, I'm going to go by Origins and then by Masterverse. So I'm going to do the Origins figures first. So if you want to skip to Masterverse, go ahead. Here's a timestamp for that if you want to do just Masterverse. But let's rank the Origins figures. There is 18 total Origins figures and sets. So I'm going to try to keep it as brief as I can. Okay, here we go. And of course, too, before we get into it, I want to give a huge shout out to, obviously, Mattel, Masters of the Universe, Toy Shiz, Pixel Dan, and the Fwoosh, because all of my information and pictures about these figures will be coming from those sources. So any pictures you see will be coming from one of those three social channels. They were the main ones who did the reveals today. So, all right, let's go. All right, coming in at number 18 is the Talon Fighter Point Dread playset. Now, if you watched my video last year or you've seen some of my other Motu content, you know that I'm just not a huge fan of some of the sets in the Origins line because A, I don't really have the space for them, B, I don't really have that nostalgic connection to them, and I'm usually more just interested in the figures themselves rather than vehicles and sets. So, Point Dread being a vehicle and a bit of a playset places it down at the bottom for me. Number 17, following the same vein, is Snake Mountain. And Snake Mountain gets a little bit higher than Point Dread because it will most likely come with a figure. And I do have Grayskull. I got Grayskull on when it was coming around on clearance for a while. So I might get Snake Mountain just to go with my Grayskull, but we'll have to wait and see. All right, coming in at number 16 is the Sunman 3-pack featuring Zapman, Holographo, and Kikto. It's an interesting set. There are some things that I like going on in the set. I like the bearded head on, I think it's Holographo that one's on. Some of the armor pieces and everything are really cool, but I just don't know if there's much of a draw there for me to get this set. We'll have to wait and see. More pictures may come out and expose it. I like Kikto for the fact that he's apparently just a really good kickboxer, and he's got like cool gear weapons on his arms and his knees. I think that's really neat. I am always into martial artist characters. I've been a little hit or miss with a lot of the Sunman characters, so we'll have to see how this one goes. Alright, coming in at number 15, this is probably going to disappoint some people, but it's going to be Dragon Blast Skeletor. Often, rather than not lately, a lot of these deluxe He-Man and Skeletor figures that have been coming out in Origins just haven't really interested me all that much. I am not going to be getting Thunder Punch He-Man for that reason. Dragon Blast Skeletor looks like he has some interesting things going on. I might just have to wait and see until if there's play features or anything that goes on with it. We have to wait and see on that one in particular because I'm just kind of iffy on it. I think the Dragon backpack part is really cool, but otherwise, besides that and the chest piece, the Skeletor is just kind of the same old Skeletor we've seen. Alright, number 14 is Slamurai. I think Slamurai looks really cool, and I think most of my want for him comes from the fact that I never picked up Ninjor when he came out at retail, so there's a part of me that wants this just to have the mold. I do think the colors look nice. I like the white and the blue combined together, but at the end of the day, he's just a straight up repaint, no new pieces or anything going on with him, so he can be a hit or miss. Alright, number 13 is mini comic, Many Faces. Many Faces is one of my favorite characters in the franchise, and I like how this one has a better colorization in my eyes than the original Origins Many Faces releases. I like the sort of more neutral orangey color rather than the bright yellowy one that they were using originally. Plus, the addition of new faces on here makes it more than just a straight up repaint, which is really nice. The human face is doing like a yelling emotion. The monster face is doing a different emotion as well, and there's like the skull robot-y head in there too. So he's got a little bit different going on to him, which inclines me to pick him up more than any of the other mini comic figures that have come out so far. All right, number 11 is the Skeletor in Screech pack. Now this one's actually really cool for the Skeletor itself. I haven't picked up the Tila and Zor pack just because the Tila's not doing much for me in terms of wanting that figure, and I do kind of like Zor for the most part. I wish there was some more going on with it. I believe, if I remember correctly, he can't even flap his wings. There's not really an articulation there. He's just kind of a big brick piece. I could be wrong on that. So there's not much interest for me in that bird part aspect, so Screech doesn't do a lot for me, but that Skeletor is really interesting and he's really cool. The colorization they have on the hood and the armor is really, really solid. Plus, he has an articulating jaw, which I love on the Masterverse 40th anniversary Skeletor. So doing an articulated jaw on Origins is super, super cool, and that is my main draw for wanting to get that set. Alright, coming in at number 11 is the Snake Men pack. Each one of the figures in there is a repaint or reuse of some way. Any of the other Snake Men that we've had so far, and Snake Armor He-Man. So it's a really cool looking 4-pack, and anyone who's a fan of the Snake Men like me is probably going to want to grab it to just have a huge multitude of Snake Men. I think part of the big draw for this right now is I still have yet to get any of the Snake Men besides Tongue Lasher. I've never seen Camo Con or Cobra Con or Rat Lord. So part of me just wants to have all the Snake Men, but another part of me wants to just expand all the Snake Men once I do get the other main ones. So this pack is pretty cool. Alright, we're in the final 10 for Origins here. So number 10 is the Eternian Guard Infiltrator, or the Snake Eternian Guard, whatever they're calling it. I think he's really solid looking. I never grabbed the original Eternian Guard pack, and this one is pretty neat. I do like the green with the red snake eyes here, so that's really all that's different besides a few different color differences. So unlike some of these other snake armor characters, there's not much snake difference happening here, which is one of the reasons why it's lower than all the other ones. But I think at the end of the day, he still does look really neat. Alright, following that up at number 8 is Snake Tila, who I actually think looks really, really cool, but could have used a little bit of texture in some of the snake detail that's happening. It's all just kind of painted on, so it does look a little weird, but I think the deco itself looks pretty solid. It just would have been nice to have some of that texture that we see on like the Snake Men characters themselves, but I am actually really excited about Snake Tila. Alright, coming in at number 7 is the 2000X Young King Randor. I've yet to find the Wave 10 Origins King Randor, who I do still really want, but I have been loving the 2000X figures in Origins so far, and I'm just so excited to be able to add King Randor to that. I love the hair and the beard combo. The chest armor looks really great, along with what's going on with the like robo leg armor too. I think overall Randor looks really, really solid overall. Alright, coming in at number 6, a little bit of an unexpected one, Snake Man-at-Arms. Snake Man-at-Arms looks really cool, or Snake Armor Man-at-Arms looks really cool. Whatever they've done to his hand, where he's got sort of this big gun like claw piece and it looks like it's screwed in so the claw will like spin, super, super cool. I like Snake Armor He-Man's like claw that extends out of his hand, so this looks like a nice upgrade to that piece. Plus, it's cool to get another Man-at-Arms in the Origins line. I feel like we haven't gotten one yet. We got the original Wave 1 version, and then we got the Eternian Guard, which came with a head that's a little more evocative of the original Man-at-Arms toy, but never another Man-at-Arms. So it's going to be cool to add another Duncan to the Origins collection. Alright, now here's where they all get really good. Coming in at number 5 is Spikor. Yes, finally we get an Origins version of Spikor, and I think he looks terrific. I love the chest spike piece, the head piece overall is really great, and the trident looks cool. I love that it's giving you an alternate option to have it be short down in the little gauntlet or extend it out. I think that's really cool. I know some people would probably prefer that it's a gimmick where it's like spring-loaded or whatever. I like the swappability options. I think Spikor looks really, really cool, and I do love my Masterverse one, but we'll have to see how this Origins version turns out. All right, coming in at number 4, Flocked Mossman. Now, we did see him already. He was revealed actually back when they did that influencer event in like September or October of last year. But they've shown off more pictures of him here. This is kind of his official reveal, and I cannot wait to get my hands on Origins Mossman. I think he looks absolutely spectacular. I just really hope that being a Walmart exclusive won't be too much trouble to pick him up, because I do not want to miss out on this guy. All right, number 3 is Squeeze. Now, there's a lot of cool stuff happening with Squeeze. He's got big, long arms that look like they're bendy wire inside, which is really, really cool, and I think that's a first for the Origins line, so that's a really, really neat addition to have. Besides the arms, I just think he overall looks really cool. I love the head sculpt, everything that's going on with the chest, and his weird snake accessory that wraps around his arm is really, really cool. And I love the actual like Snake Men characters themselves, so getting Squeeze is going to be super, super fun, and he is going to be so much fun to play with. I can already tell. All right, coming in at number 2 is going to be that Skeleton Warrior 2-pack. These things look really, really cool. They look really, really unique. I believe we first saw them at San Diego Comic-Con during with that big display case that they had. They had a bunch of these Skeleton Warriors out, and they looked really cool then, and they look really cool now. I think this is going to be a neat army builder pack, and just the look of the Skeleton Warriors overall is just, it's really selling it for me. It's really, really cool. All right, and unexpectedly, number 1 is Snakeface. This guy looks so, so cool. I love all the molded detail that they've got going on the arms. The head as well with the pop-out eyes and tongue looks great as well. Plus, he's got a cool looking shield and that snake staff. The overall design of this character just looks absolutely wild, and I love it so much. There's a lot of detail packed into him, and he looks so cool. Easy contender for potentially Origins figure of the year right there if he turns out as good as he looks. Alright, so that's going to do it for all of the Origins ranking. Let's go ahead and move on now to Masterverse. My cup of tea. I'm going to say off the top, before we actually get into the numbers, this was really hard. This is a really hard ranking to do, because every single one of these figures just looks so absolutely amazing and really, really cool. It was really hard for me to rank which ones I liked better in certain aspects, because these all look absolutely fantastic. If you're here watching me, you know that I love Masterverse. I am full in. I think it's one of the best toy lines running right now. It's hard to beat Masterverse, and I love all these figures so much. So let's get into the actual numbers. There is less of them this time. There is 13. So let's go ahead and start with number 13, Horde Skeletor. Now, Horde Skeletor is really only at the bottom because he looks like a straight repaint of the Revelations Skeletor. With some slight differences, obviously. The head looks a little bit different, like it might be molded slightly differently, and he does come with a different type of cape. But I can't deny the colors look absolutely outstanding. The Horde armor looks great. His Havoc staff looks really, really cool. I just love the way it all overall looks. He's only so low because it's a straight repaint. It looks like a straight repaint of Revelation Skeletor, which is not my favorite Skeletor in the Masterverse line. I've talked about that before. All right, number 12 coming in is Clamp Champ, and I think Clamp Champ, he looks terrific. I love the way the body looks. The armor looks great. Even the clamp itself looks really, really cool. I just wish they had given him a little bit more accessories. I'm sure that one big clamp accessory costs a lot to make, and that's why he doesn't come with many others. But it does look like it kind of wraps around his arm, like it's kind of formed up and around his arm, so it has a really cool design to it. I just wish we were getting a little bit more with him, especially when the Origins one came with the big clamp and like another little handheld clamp. But I'm not complaining, because I can't wait to have Clamp Champ in Masterverse. Number 11, it pains me to put him so low, but it is Prince Adam. Now, don't get me wrong, Prince Adam looks absolutely spectacular. It's just all the other figures look so cool. Prince Adam looks great. One of the things that I did notice about him that might be slightly disappointing is he looks like he's the first Masterverse figure to not have double jointed elbows. It looks like he only has single jointed elbows, which is slightly disappointing, but judging by kind of how skinny and scrawny he is, I might be able to understand. But the ladies are all kind of smaller, so then they still have double jointed elbows. So I'm not sure why that is, but I love some things about Prince Adam. I love that he's got the sword that is like mid-transformation. That's going to be really cool to have for photographs as a really cool accessory. And he's got a laughing head, so he's got a nice joyful Prince Adam. And he looks really cool, and it's one of those Prince Adam figures where he looks very distinctly different from He-Man, so I'm very excited to get that. Alright, number 10 is going to be New Adventures Skeletor. Now again, they did show this one off at the influencer event back in September or October, but this is kind of his official reveal, and oh, he looks sick. He looks so cool. There is a lot of really great molded, like cybernetic robotic detail going on with this guy, from the arms to the brain on the skull. On the back, there's a whole bunch under the armor. It is so cool. All this robotic detail they've got going on Skeletor, and his staff looks great. Now, I just reviewed the New Adventures He-Man figure, the Target exclusive one, so it's going to be really great to finally have those two pairing off together. Okay, this is where it started to get like really difficult as for which figures I thought looked better than any of the other ones. So number 9 is going to be Faker. Now I think this Faker looks absolutely terrific. He looks much better than the Revelations version, because obviously this one's full blue. He's got a great head sculpt. This is a sick looking head sculpt. My favorite thing I think about this Faker is the weapons. They've got like this sort of like rusted, like melting away like type deco on them. Whatever deco they've done on the weapons looks super cool, and I am a huge fan of that. The one thing I wish about Faker is I wish the harness that goes on his chest was a little bit more orange than pink. I know some people are going to like the pink, and in hand, that opinion could change as well. But regardless, this Faker looks incredible. Alright, coming in at number 8, one of my favorite characters, Merman. This guy looks so cool. I'm a little confused as to if this is going to be a Revelations version, because it looks like it's just straight up using the Revelations body and the Revelations head sculpt, or if it's going to be New Eternia. But nonetheless, this guy looks terrific, and I love the Revelations figure. I think the Revelations Merman rocks as it is. So if it is just reusing that body and it's New Eternia, that's totally fine with me, because that chest armor looks spectacular. The gauntlets look great. The leg gauntlets look great too. Overall, he looks really sick, and that sword is just undeniably cool in its design. So I am stoked for this Merman, regardless of what subline he's in. Coming in at number 7, this one has to be an entry into New Eternia. This is Webster. Oh, this guy looks so cool. I love the way this guy looks. I love that he's got the additional like tendril arms that can plug into his back. The head sculpt is just absolutely gnarly. It's so cool. Webster looks great. I like the Origins version for the most part, but I feel like he's lacking on sort of the spider aesthetic, and Masterverse is coming in to provide that spider aesthetic very well. Coming in at number 6, I was so excited about this one, because I was fairly disappointed in the Origins Ram Man, because they went, you know, a little bit more gimmick over articulation, and some people like that. I'm sure that's great with some people, but you guys know me, I like my articulation over my gimmicks, so Origins Ram Man was a little bit of a bust. But this version, this New Eternia Ram Man, looks spectacular. The alternate options they're giving you for the head, like the silly sunglasses look, or the fully warriored up mask look, looks great. You got some chest armor to go over the chest armor that he already has, which looks awesome. His axe looks tremendous in the deco. Overall, Ram Man looks so cool, and I cannot wait to get my hands on this Ram Man. I am so excited about it. Alright, we're coming into the top 5 here. The top 5 for Masterverse. Number 5 is Grizzlor. It's going to be interesting to see if this is New Eternia Grizzlor, or if he's Princess of Power Grizzlor to go with a Hordak. But regardless, he looks so cool. Looks like he's using the Stratos or the Beastman body, so he's all hairy and he's all bulky. His werewolfy bear type head is just absolutely tremendous. I love the big fur pelt that we're getting too. This guy just turned out absolutely spectacular. And I love the Origins one. Origins figure made it into the 2022 tournament from last year as being one of the best Motu figures. So we'll see if Masterverse keeps that up. Coming in at number 4, a character that I don't really know much about because he's from New Adventures, and he's one of those, you know, offshoot characters that just I haven't really been exposed to all that much. Slushhead. This guy looks so cool. There are so many ways you can pose this guy. You can mess around with this guy you can remove the head and put in like the slushy goo head and leave the other head to be on like a robot little body, or you can attach all of that to his back and he can have all these tendrils. There's so many options and so much variety with this guy, and that is what I love. And he comes with so many accessories. He's just gonna look cool on yourself regardless of where he is or what he's doing, because there's so much you can do with him. It's so cool. All right, coming in to the top 3, these are all like chef's kiss, so good. Number 3 is Clawful. Like, come on, look at this guy. This guy looks tremendous. The amount of sculpted detail that is in his body itself is just outstanding. The head sculpt looks great. The big claw looks great. All of the details that are molded into his arms and his legs is just incredible. Plus, he comes with the little mace weapon, he comes with a shield, and like a big like piece to go on his back that's got 2 big spikes coming out of it. Like, this guy looks tremendous, guys. These figures are blowing the Origins ones out of the water with how incredible these look, and I cannot wait to get my hands on them. Following that same vein, number 2 is Buzz-Off. Buzz-Off looks sick. He looks so cool. Again, he's got a lot of that same molded detail aesthetic going on to him that Clawful does. A lot of the pieces are reused, so that's probably why I like both of them a lot. But just the overall aesthetic is just fantastic. The head by itself just, it looks so cool. Plus you can put the bigger bee helmet on, and he looks like even better. His wings look articulated, they look really nice. It's just, these ones are so cool. I cannot wait to get these and talk about them on my channel, because you know I'm going to talk about all of these figures. Alright, and coming in at number 1, my favorite Masterverse reveal is Whiplash. This guy, like, he looks insane. He's got a lot of cool armor that is totally removable. I think this is going to be a new Eternia style of Whiplash, but then like all of the molded detail that is just on him is tremendously insane. The head sculpt looks fantastic. The tailpiece on the back looks great. The scales all over, he looks so cool. Part of my excitement for him might be the fact that I just haven't had the Origins version yet, but I think even if I did have the Origins version, he would still be up here at the top, because I have Origins Clawful and Origins Buzz-Off, and those two, they're like, now, you know? So, there it is. Alright guys, that is going to do it for my full ranking of all of the Masters of the Universe reveals that we got today. So go ahead, let me know in the comments down below, what are your thoughts on all of these reveals? How do our lists differ in terms of what you're excited for and what I'm excited for? Let's go ahead and talk all things about these Masters of the Universe reveals down below. And guys, if you made it all the way to the end, again, I do really truly thank you. It means a lot to me that you've made it all the way through this video. And of course, as always, I have been your host, deceptibot9. Thank you as always for joining me, and I'll see you guys later.